Hi, I'm Terry Brock with TerryBrock.com. Today, things are changing rapidly, and technology gives you the ability to get a lot more done. Video is one of the ways you can do that, and being creative and kind of twisting your mind into the situation that's at hand and figuring out ways that you can make it work really give you an advantage. I recently had the opportunity to talk with a wonderful, lovely lady named Laura Stewart, and she has a marvelous little radio program called It's All About the Questions, which I kind of liked when I heard that because, as you know, it's important that you position your life and form your life by asking the right questions. If you ask the wrong questions, you'll never get anywhere. But if you ask the right questions, then you cut through everything else that's going on and get it done. So we talked about a host of different things. This one is just packed full with a lot of good information. But the real secret, the real benefit for you is going to be you get a chance to watch between the scenes, what we're doing behind the scenes before the radio show starts. You get a chance to meet Tim, the producer. You get a chance to meet what we're doing and how we're testing it. And I want you to kind of watch this and read between the lines. This is particularly for those of you who are thought leaders and you want to use video. You want to start using more audio, more podcasting, and terms like that. You want to start implementing this. This will be a must-see. It's a little bit long, so just get your pen and paper or pencil and pen and whatever note-taking device of choice you might have and watch this. It's a good one to kind of put in the background and watch. But notice some of it's before the show. Then you actually see the full show, including the commercial breaks, what we're talking about during that. So it's really educational to watch all of this. You'll hear me talk about my going from no way to not yet, overcoming, overwhelmed, talking about technology. We'll give you some specific gems on this. It's kind of like a class you're taking. So when you're ready to go to a class, watch this video and you're going to enjoy it. You can find out more about what I'm doing, TerryBrock.com. That's TerryBrock.com. And Laura Stewart is over at Laura, Laura. Stewart is spelled STEWARD, laurastewart.com. And you'll be able to find out about that. And the program is called It's All About the Questions. If you do a couple Google searches, you'll see a host of other programs she's done, and she does a really good job on those. A delightful lady. You want to get to know her, too. So, hey, here it is. You're going to enjoy this, and I will look forward to hearing from you. Go ahead, and now I am recording as well. So
Okay.
I'm recording, you're recording. That's always a good thing, just in case there's an oh, whoops. Which, Tim, I'm sure you can relate to this in the field of broadcast and audio and video. Oh, whoops. Have you run into that little animal somewhere?
Many times.
Yeah,
Oh,
many
whoops, I
times.
forgot to start the recording when the show started.
Oh, gee, do I have to press record for it to start recording? Oh, my. So anyway, if you've got two people doing it, that's often really nice. I've had many times when one side of the conversation doesn't turn out well, and you go, oh, good thing that we have it on the other.
All right.
So just another nice thing about Zoom.
Yeah, this is very cool.
Yeah, so I thought you'd like it. And by the way, this is really good for speakers to create product because also you could share your screen and have keynote slides or PowerPoint slides in the background with you on there as well. You would just go up to a corner. And so you're saying, well, now in our third point is, boom, next slide, da-da-da-da-da-da. And now here's a picture that you'll really like. Hit the key, and there's the picture, and you're on the screen describing it.
It's a lot easier than Webinar Jam.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is easier. Now, I use Webinar Jam, particularly Studio, because I find that is incredibly good for connecting lots of people and getting their names and things. But when I'm doing just a one-on-one or one on a small group, say up to 10 people or so, Zoom works really well. And I love Skype. I mean, hey, I was their chief enterprise blogger.
I know.
And loved it, working with them. They're great people. I love Skype itself and still use that from time to time. But I prefer Zoom now, just that, hey, technology changes.
I like the way it had his name in it too.
Sorry, we were just talking and looking at the time. Tim's got to go back in to get them ready for commercial break, so he's
Understood. Understood completely. As an old radio guy myself, I really like someone who's keeping track of the time.
Yeah, all of a sudden we looked and it's like, oh, he's coming up on commercial break for the other show. The show before mine is a half-hour show. I have an hour show. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm really honored to be with you. This is going to be a lot of fun.
I'm excited. You know, I've been, ever since I met you at Bob Berg's event that he had, the big event several years ago, I was like, I love Terry. You know, I've been following you for years, and I'm like, we live so close to each other. But, you know, you're always
on that far on the map. You know?
I know.
And I got a small map, but, that far.
Good morning or afternoon, depending on what time zone, or evening, actually, for some of my listeners that call in from other parts of the world that are 12 hours away. My friends in Singapore and Australia and all over the place. I think it's almost it's still the same day for those of you because we're before noon. So welcome back to the show, everybody. And today I have an extra special guest who we are both trying something really, really cool for this radio station. We are recording video. So you'll be able to see us on the post-recording with video and audio. You can see our faces. You can see what we're talking about. And that was Terry just waving at it when you get to see the video. And the other cool thing is, it's fun. This is so much. We get to do video. We're going to be talking with my extra special guest, who I got first introduced to by Bob Burg, who, if you remember, was on the show several months back before the show became a major podcast hit on iTunes. We had hit number 23 at the top. So thank you, everybody. And we were up there for 9 weeks on iTunes. So thank you, everybody. Let's keep it there. So, remember to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes and Stitcher. Really, really appreciate it. And the best bet is tell me how this show has impacted your life. So let me tell you a bit about my guest, International Hall of Fame social media marketing speaker, and 50 people over 50 in branding. I just love Terry Brock. He brings a passion for technology, a sense of history, and real-world business strategies for success to your event or whatever you need. I first met Terry at an event that Bob Burg held. And what blew me away by Terry was his ability to translate highly complex topics into things. It's just like, oh, that's what that's all about? He just makes it so simple and so easy. He is more than just a social media marketing speaker or a technology trends expert. He packs his presentations with his, oh my God, over the top, gee whiz, joy for gadgets. And you all know me, I'm a geek, so I love talking here with fellow geeks. He's a syndicated columnist with the business journals. He earned an MBA in marketing, but you know what? When it all comes down to it, Terry Brock is all about relationships. He is all about teaching you how to use social media, how to use technology, and most of all, how to use your voice to connect with your clients and your customers and make an impact on the world. He is a certified speaking professional, but he is in the International Hall of Fame for speakers at the NSA, and less than 1% of all the speakers in the world make that designation. So please welcome my dear friend, Terry Brock.
Laura, thank you so much. Wow, I'm really blown away. You are most kind. But looking forward to creating some magic with you today. We're just going to have all kinds of good fun and give our guests people joining us a whole lot of good information.
Yeah, when you and I were talking about putting this show together, and we're like, okay, Terry's this great video guy. The studio has no cameras in it. I've been trying to figure out how to make this happen. And you're like, oh, let's play. And I love that you're willing to play with me to figure out how to make this work.
Yeah, I think that's the way we really learn. We look at technology and sometimes it's overwhelming. We're going, oh my goodness, I can't do that. Oh, I don't know. But if we get into it and say, hey, let's have some fun with it. Let's play with this and let's experiment. Let's try. And when, not if, but when we have some setbacks or something doesn't quite work, hey, no problem. Hey, it really wouldn't be a computer if you didn't have a problem. So we work with it. We have fun with it. We learn with video. And like we're doing right now, those that are watching on the video are able to see us on the screen. Both of us, we're using a technology called Zoom from zoom.us, and this gives the ability to record what we're doing as well as to change it around and do some other nifty, groovy things.
Yeah, and I have the free account, which lets me record up to 40 minutes, but Terry has the first level paid account, which is only like $9.99 a month, and he can record for unlimited length of time. So he started this recording, and we're going to see how it goes because I love it, and it lets speakers, it lets people who are creating content, authors, if for those of you who are authors that are listeners of mine, and I know there are a lot of you out there, you can record so much stuff using the software. So play around with it and have fun.
Yep, that's the way we learn, because I think if you can give yourself that permission to say, okay, I'm willing to try, I'm going to play with it, we're going to have fun, and when we fall down, we'll get back up and we go at it again. I think that's what really separates people that succeed in almost anything in life from those that don't. Those that succeed just keep trying. They keep getting up. They say, okay, let me give it a shot. I haven't figured it out. But then you don't just keep doing the same things that are not working. You use what I call smart persistence, so that you say, I haven't figured this out yet. Who could I tap into that would know that? I want to tap into somebody really, really smart that does that. And fortunately, with tools like Zoom and the tools that we have now, you can do this with people around the world. So you think about it, you might want to learn about oodly boodlies, which is a really important thing to know. Oodly boodlies. And the oodly boodly expert is Dr. Mary Smith up in East Waukauga. And so, a nice place to visit too. But you could say, okay, Dr. Mary Smith and East Waukauga, teach me about oodly boodlies. Here's my credit card. Let me do this through PayPal or whatever. And that way she's compensated for her knowledge. You get information on something that's really important, and you're doing it through a way that gives you the ability of almost being there in person using a tool like Zoom or Skype, Google Hangouts, or another host of many tools that are out there.
Yeah, when I do my one-on-one mentoring with clients, I use Skype and Skype Recorder or Pamela Recorder a lot of the times to do it. I'm really loving just what we've been doing with Zoom this morning. I just think it's an exceptional platform. Here's something I love that you just did. You talked about connecting and finding the people who have the right knowledge and learning from them. My favorite question in the world is the title of my book, What Would a Wise Woman Do? So basically, what you're talking about when you talk about sort of reducing overwhelm, using what resources are out there and available to you, you're saying to yourself, it's okay not to have all the answers. There's somebody else that probably does. So what would somebody smarter than me, somebody wiser than me, somebody maybe in this other field, what would their response be to this problem I'm facing? I love that.
Yeah, and I think that today, more than ever, we can do that. So you can find out the information you need and be willing to part with your coins, too. A quote that I love from Benjamin Franklin is when he said, take the coins of your purse and to fill your mind, and then your mind will overflow your purse with coins. And I think that's what we've got to do, is be willing to put in our time, our money, and our energy to learn new skills. And we can access this right now through, of course, Google, through all kinds of wonderful courses that are available, through mentors, through podcasts like yours that are out there. So we can listen to really, really smart people who are taking time to help us learn. Watching YouTube videos, there's a host of those out there. And you can learn a great deal from that. And by going through the procedures, today, more than ever, you can do it, which is why a lot of people are stepping back going, do we really need that thing called a college education, which was also almost axiomatic years ago. And now, and for me, I know it was right. It was the right thing for me at that time. But for many people today, it might not be. But for many others, it still is. And we were watching a video last night with Nitin Noria. He's the dean of the Harvard Business School. And he says, we understand this, and that's why we are now integrally involved with online learning. And they offer online learning courses for free through Harvard, through MIT, Stanford, University of Michigan, many other universities do this, so that now you can get it. And money is not the excuse. You can't say, I can't afford it. Many of these are free. Just you got to get in there and put forth the effort. That's something you have to spend, the effort, and put in the time. If you're willing to do that, you can gain a whole lot today.
Yeah, and I looked at a number of those because there were some interesting leadership courses and some other things I wanted to just sort of see a different perspective on. And the thing I noticed was they're very brilliant, right? You can take the class, but you don't get credit for it unless you pay for it.
I like that.
So I thought that was great. They're offering the material out there, but if you want to say you took these courses at Harvard or you graduated from Harvard with this certificate or something, then you have to have paid a fee to them per credit fee, which I think is a lot less than the per credit fee if you are actually physically at Harvard.
Oh, yeah, a little bit. It does cost. I was just, last night they were telling me it was like close to $62,000 per year for a Harvard MBA, and it's a 2-year program. Plus, that does not include your lodging and all the other stuff. So you're figuring not unusual to spend $100,000 a year to do that. But you have to look at it and think, whatever the number is, if it's $100 bazillion, or $1, you got to find out, am I going to get a return on this and a value on it? And through knowledge and the right application of market valuable skills, you can. I think today, too often we think, well, just going to college is good. Yeah, but wait a minute. If you study 15th century tsetse flies from Ethiopia, and that becomes a thing you're really excited about, well, that's real good, Sparky, but hey, there's not a big market demand for that.
There's sort of a small niche.
Yeah, it just doesn't count. It's like, wake up here, get something, though, that people are going, Whoa, you know how to do that? Can you show us how? We'll give you money if you show us how to do that. And that's where you want to focus your time, your money, and your energy in order to learn those valuable skills.
All right. So there's so much out there. And, we haven't even talked about what got you started on this realm of these topics that you speak about and what you're really known for. You did a TEDx talk in Boca on overwhelm, which, by the way, everybody, you need to Google Terry Brock TEDx overwhelm. Just Google that, find it, listen to it. It was one of the most brilliant TED Talks I've heard in a really, really long time about overwhelm and some steps that people can take to sort of decrease it. I mean, the ever increasing amount of technology and different things we're doing. I mean, look what we're doing in the studio. Look, I'm talking through the microphone that's going out over AM, FM, and live on iHeartRadio. I'm hearing Terry in here. I'm looking at Terry in my computer screen. There's tons of technology going on here, and we had to play around with it, but it's not overwhelming because there are things you can do. So, Terry, there's one, I love this. Your third point on your TED Talk was no way to not yet. Can you talk a little bit about that in relationship with how you got on your journey? Because I'm sure at some point you were saying to yourself, there is no way I can ever do this. And you turned it into a not yet, and now look at you.
Yeah, that's very important. It's kind of a long story, so we can at least start now because I know we've got a break coming up, an old radio guy that I am as well, but we'll make sure we hear
54 seconds.
There we go. So you just give me a 10-second or something like that. See, we got video, so you can hold up like 10 seconds and I'll know that.
Cool.
And I need to shut up because I know you'll want to go on, but I think it's most important. Let me just say this because we can talk about it after the break, as we'd say. Be sure and come back because this is the most important. Many times people say, oh, I can't do that, or can you do this or that, this new technology? Oh, I just don't know that, and they get overwhelmed. And so my whole point in that talk was how to overcome overwhelmed. And a good part of that is moving from no way, oh no, I can't do that, no way can I do that, to thinking not yet. And that really is the key. It's not a matter of trying to tell yourself something that's not true, because your brain will just go, no, that's wrong, not true. But you want to be able to do it and then be able to achieve it. And this is the kind of technology and a kind of tool that can help you whatever comes around, say for the next 437 years. And it will work.
Or during the commercial break.
Or during the commercial break.
We'll be right back with more from Terry Brock. Okay, so Terry, we're now in commercial break.
Yes.
And can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, and I'm also hearing the commercials, which is fun.
Yeah, the commercials are very loud in our ears.
Yeah, that's all right. I understand they're selling some fine product and service and making it possible for us to be on the air. So, yes, indeed.
Exactly. Yeah. I won't have airtime if I don't have sponsors and commercials.
That's exactly right.
And this station would not afford me this beautiful location. All right, so I'm listening to you now during our break on the laptop solely. So everybody out there listening, we're playing with this for the very first time in this studio at WAXE in Vero Beach, Florida. So this is so cool. All right, so when we come back from the break, we're going to be talking more about, the no way, no out. But for those who are listening, what started?
What got that started?
What got you started?
How did I start? Way back, I guess when I was in the MBA program, finishing up, I was doing management consulting. And I found out a lot of things about spreadsheets and pro forma income statements and cash flow statements and all that. And we do marketing plans and all those good things. And I found that it was much easier to do it with a computer than it was doing it with the old pencil and paper method. And things were starting to shift at that time over towards spreadsheets. So I just taught myself how to do it and how to learn those things. And it worked out very well by working with them and staying with it and then realizing sometimes you don't get it initially, but you do later. And then when I saw that movie, The Matrix, and that particular scene that I talk about, that really hit me. And I remember watching it at home one night, and I had to actually get up and I started writing it down there on the dining room table. It was so inspiring for me. Okay,
here's what's really, really funny. I spent part of this Labor Day weekend watching the Matrix movies back to back.
Oh, really? Which ones did you see? All three of them?
I saw all three of them. Back to back, because they did it. They had I think it was on FX or something. They
Yeah.
did a Labor Day back-to-back of all of the Matrix movies. And
Excellent.
I could not get over how many times they talk about questions in the movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's they really talk about it. They say it's about the questions. Maybe you're asking the wrong question.
Yes, exactly. That's so important in life. That's why I love your theme, Laura, that you talk about asking the right questions. The questions really drive your life and direct it. Because if you're asking the wrong question, you're going to never come up with the right answer. We've got to always step back and constantly say, are we asking the right questions here? And you have been doing that. I love your work and what you're doing, and I highly recommend that to others.
Well, thank you. You know, it's questions have been a fascination for me my entire life.
Why? There's a question.
My favorite is why. Yeah, that's my favorite of all time is why, and I get yelled at all the time for that.
Mine too. I think it's the most important.
And we're coming back.
Here we are.
All right, we're coming back on the air. Okay, I so can't wait for everyone listening to be able to watch the video because we just had so much fun during the commercial break.
Yes.
So Terry, before the break, we were talking about your no way to not yet and how you got there. And during the commercial break, we talked about questions and your MBA and getting into tech. So for those of us listening live on the air, can you expand on that?
Yeah, the whole thing of thinking no way to not yet kind of has evolved for me. But I guess a pivotal moment was when I was in my home, matter of fact, right here, sitting right there, watching a video. I'm looking over here at my home theater. So there it is. I was watching the home theater. It was between that wonderful time of the year, between Christmas and New Year's, when it's a slower time. We get a chance to sit back and relax and all that. And so I was watching the movie The Matrix, watching the first one. And it was a critical scene in there where Trinity and Neo, the two protagonists in the movie, they were fighting the bad guys. And the bad guys were dressed up like 20th century soldiers with their helmet, their guns and everything. And the Trinity and Neo were fighting them and shooting them and all that. And they finally beat all the bad guys. The bad guys are lying down. And they looked over and there was a helicopter way over there in the back going whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. You know, they do that. Helicopters make those noises.
That was really good.
Yeah. And he looks over at her and he goes, "Can you fly that thing?" And she looked back at him and said those immortal words, "Not yet." And she jumped on her cell phone, called back to the place where their headquarters and talked.
Operator.
Yeah, that's right, the operator. And they said, "Tank, I need a pilot program for a B-212 helicopter." And then, you know, her eyes started blinking and all this because, hey, it's a science fiction movie. You know,
right.
They do those things. And then while they were doing that, they downloaded the instructions on how to fly that helicopter through her cell phone into her brain, and they took off. And let's just say it was really handy that they had that helicopter for the rest of the movie because it turned out better for them. But that hit me when she said those two words, "not yet." I realized that's the key. Too often when we get a challenge or we see a new technology, we go, how am I going to do this? Or there's the new oogly wooglies that are out there or whatever, you know, there's a new social media thing. Oh, do you know about oogly wooglies? It's the hottest one. Oh man, I don't know that. But what about higgity biggities that's over here? Oh, and then there's eekiwaggers over here. And you go, I don't even know what all this stuff is. And no, I can't do it. And you feel overwhelmed. But if instead of going, oh, I'm overwhelmed, I can't do that, you instead, when people say, can you do this? You say, not yet. Because not yet is truthful. You're not saying, yes, I can do it, because you're lying then, and your brain knows you can't do it. But also if you say, oh, no, I can't, you're putting yourself into a negative downward spiral. Not yet says, hey, I don't know how to do it right now, but I'm going to read the books. I'm going to hire the coaches. I'm going to watch the videos. I'm going to enroll in the courses. I'm going to do whatever it takes so that I can learn this. And I'm going to be willing to pay the time, the money, and the energy in order to get it. I'm willing to pay that price. And when I do that, then I can move from no way to not yet. And that not yet spurs me on so that someday I say, yes, I can. because we've been able to do it. And for me, that really helps so much, not only with technology, but in many things in life, because it's easy to get overwhelmed. One of the things I'm doing right now, Laura, you can relate to this. I'm learning Spanish. Here in Florida, we have a lot of Spanish-speaking people.
Huge
and
population.
I want to learn how to speak that. I'm also doing programs in Mexico, and I love Mexico. I want to get down there and do more, and I want to speak the language. So I'm working at it and training myself and keep saying, not yet. And I'll stay with it and keep going after it. I think that's what we can do if we want to learn anything in this world today.
You know, it's interesting because I was watching the Matrix movies over the weekend because I think it was FX had them back to back. So I used my DVR and recorded them so I can skip through all the commercials. So I watched all 3 movies pretty much back to back with a little gap in between to go do a lot of different things. And I loved that scene. I thought it was so insightful. The writers on that show and the Wachowski brothers, I think that's how you pronounce their name, the ones who did all of them.
Geniuses.
Absolute geniuses. And they talk about questions a lot. And to get you to the not yet, she had to ask she had to be asked a question first. Do you know how to fly that?
Mm-hmm.
And instead of letting that stop her, as you said, she's like, well, wait a minute. How can I figure out how to do this? And thankfully in the movies, she can instantly get it downloaded into her brain. We don't all have that luxury, but by asking questions, we get the knowledge that plugs into. Not yet, anyway. There are sleep things that you can do, right? The whole subliminal thing.
That's right. We're learning all kinds of things that we thought were impossible just a few years ago, and today we're doing it.
Yeah, so not yet. I love that. I love that. So, Terry, one of the things that you talk so much about is the use of video. And you speak on stages all over the world. I mean, is there a continent you've not been to speak?
Let's see. I have not been to Antarctica. And I do want to go down there someday, but I've been to, Africa, Europe, Asia, North America, South America. So I've been around. I think that takes in most of them there. And we're going different places. But I find it's a real education to do that. And video is a way that we can connect with people. And I literally, from right here, my little place here in Orlando, Florida, run an international business. Being able to stay in touch with people using video, a host of them. We're using Zoom right now, which is one I really like a lot. And I'm able to do business with people and get paid. I mean, really make money using video for a lot of different applications. And so I think it's great to be alive today better than any other time in history because they didn't have video, like Abraham Lincoln didn't use video really well. His internet connections were really bad, but today, hey, they're a whole lot better.
Although not yet, we may be able to go back and actually talk to them. And
we're working on that. Our best people are working on that one.
They are. I'm sure they are. They must be. All right. Today's blog post that you put talked about relationship marketing. And, I watch a lot of video because, I speak for a living. I coach and mentor people for a living. I have my radio show. So I'm always looking to learn and explore and grow. And because I caregive for my mom 100%, I'm full-time caregiver, I don't always get a chance to get out. So I look at video a lot and I get so many lists that send me stuff. And I'm like, really? You don't even know who I am and you are pitching me so hard. Or because of who I am, award-winning author, radio host, international, #1 international best-selling, all of that stuff. People want something from me and they'll friend me on social media. And they'll go, well, please, review my book. You must want to review my book, or you'll want to have me on your radio show. And they've never even bothered trying to create that link where there's some common connection other than I'm an author, you're an author, so therefore you must want to help me. And I get so many requests a day. It's overwhelming some days. Your blog post today talked about that. Can you talk to us about how to approach through video, through YouTube, through whatever media you're using to make sure that you're making that connection? And we're going to talk about that actually when we come back from the news break because I love talking to you so much. I didn't realize we were 30 seconds away from the news.
Yeah, no problem.
So what's one question you want people to think about during the news break?
Think, how can I leverage video and other tools to connect with people and build better relationships?
Oh, I love that. So everybody, as you're listening to this, think about how you can leverage video to build better relationships, not just to sell stuff, but to build better relationships, which in the long run you get ka-chings from, because people know, like, and trust you. We'll be right back after the news.
All right.
All right, that was cool. So that was really funny because Tim, my producer, is going, Laura.
That's all right. You see, and by the way, those of you watching this on video, this is good because you get a chance to see the real behind the scenes stuff of what it's like. But I love radio because you do have to break. I mean, it's right there. Unlike in speaking, sometimes people are very disrespectful of other speakers because they feel like, well, I'm on stage, my message is so important, I'm going to go longer than what I was given time to. You know, I'm supposed to end at 11:30, and I think, well, my message is more important, I'm going to go till 12. Hey, you just cut out what they had planned between 11:30 and 12. What about those people? Don't you care about them? And so that's where I love radio. That it's right there, around to it. TV, live TV is the same way. And it's fun to do that. And it's fun that we can record this now and be able to go back. People can watch this and we can share a lot of good information. So, Laura, you're doing a good job.
I'm going to pivot the camera so people can see the little window over there. So that's where my producer, Tim, hey, Tim, walk over to the window. Put your face there.
Tim is there's Tim.
Yes,
Hi,
Tim over there waving at everybody.
We're all waving. The people in the future are waving to you now, Tim.
So the window is very tiny at the studio where I sit. And, you know, it's got in front of my desk, there's a spot for 3 guests to sit if they actually come into the studio. But if I'm looking at the direction I'm looking at Terry in the camera, then I can't easily look over to the side to see my timing prompts.
That's right.
Which I'm discovering is a problem.
It could be.
So, you know, the other option is I can go this way, but then look what happens with video because there's windows to the outside world. So
that's right. And by the way, those of you watching this, Laura's giving you a really good education here because when you point that into the window, it blinds her. She turns very dark. And so we blind her by, I mean, we don't see her as well. And so you have to adjust for that. But one of the things that I was doing, I knew that we were coming up for it because I could see in the upper right corner on my screen the clock ticking off. I've got the digital clock. It's 11:32, 24, 25, 26 as I'm watching this right now. So that might be a way to work around it when you're using Zoom or other technologies.
What digital clock do you have?
I've got the digital one that comes with the system.
Are you on Windows 8?
Oh, no. I use a real computer, Macintosh.
Oh.
A Mac. A real computer.
I'm on a PC.
Yes,
Mac
that's right.
Mac PC.
Mac PC. Is it Mac or is it PC?
So on my PC, there's a clock in the small right corner, and I have my iPhone over here, but I was so involved in the conversation that my iPhone had timed out on the screen, so I didn't see the time.
Yep, exactly. Those are good. But that was a really good point for if you're putting together video and doing. These are real world tips that Laura is giving you right now. So be sure and write Laura and tell her thanks for that.
Well, thank you for that, Terry. So while we're in the commercial break, which we have another couple of minutes, we're in news right now. That's the other part, because people ask me this all the time. And Terry, you were a former, broadcast radio host. You have no control over certain station broadcasts. It's like at 11:30, I go to hard break. I have no control over that one whatsoever. The news goes, Clear Channel cuts in, and mid-sentence, mid-word, I'm cut off.
Doesn't matter.
Which is why this one was so important. We have 2 other breaks that are soft breaks, which we can kind of float if we're in the middle of a sentence, but that means the next segment's kind of shorter.
Yeah.
And so, hey,
I'm hearing the music coming back
really
now.
Short today. Must not have had enough commercials. We're coming back.
We're standing by.
We are back with our first ever video broadcast that we're recording with my wonderful guest, Terry Brock, and we just had fun during the break showing you different things in the studio and things that can hiccup your video. But Terry, we were talking about, the questions that got you started along this, and of course we leapt there from the Matrix.
Yes.
We were talking about relationship marketing and video and how somebody can still use it while creating a relationship. And enlighten us on some tips and tactics that people can use for that, techniques.
Yeah, the video is just a technology, and the principles are lifelong and have been with us for centuries or longer, as long as people have been around. And what you do is you start in a different way than many people do today. Like you were mentioning, the people that just, they've heard you somewhere, and all of a sudden they're throwing all their stuff going, hi, we're wonderful, come and do business with us and give us money. And you're going, whoa, 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 hey, Sparky, slow it down there. We don't want that. We don't need you forcing this on us. If anything, that's a surefire way to not sell. What you want to do is you want to get to know people. And in our book that Gina Carr and I wrote called Clout Matters, that's clout with a K, we're talking about social media and how you engage with people. Very important to be able to connect with people. And you do that by posing questions, listening to their questions, and helping them. When they say, hey, does anyone know a good restaurant on the north side of town that might be good? If you go, oh, well, I know one over here at the corner of 4th and Main, there's da-da-da-da. Yep. You're helping them. You're providing help. They get a chance to know you. You're building the bridge. And you don't jump in then immediately and say, oh, and by the way, we're selling aluminum siding. Here, you need to buy from us. It'd be completely out of line. What you want to do is hang around people that are nice, be very helpful, be kind, and listen to where they need help. And if they do need help, have information that you can give them. Information is a great way to continue that so that you're still not jumping in going, let's say we really were selling aluminum siding. What you might have is some PDFs. You might have some videos, some audios on what you need to know when you're buying aluminum siding, when it's the right thing for you, when it's not the right thing. And so that way, if someone says, hey, I'm looking for some aluminum siding, or I'm thinking about it, you can say, oh, good. Well, maybe here's something that might be able to help you. It's a PDF free. You go ahead and do that and let me know if I can help you afterwards. And they have ways to contact you there. Video is a great way to explain and to help people. It's very real. It's much more natural to see someone and to watch them move around, watch their lips move, you hear them talk. That's much more natural than seeing smudges on a screen that we've had to learn and study called a language. They're both good, but the video is something that is very natural. And today, more than ever in history, we now have it very easily and very vividly to accomplish a lot.
Now, what about somebody who's really uncomfortable on camera? Me, I'm okay. I'm fine with it. I mean, I know my hair is not perfect here in the studio with these lovely, beautiful headsets and all that other stuff.
By the way, did I comb my hair okay today? I
thought it was
Laura, so I could comb it just for you.
It's so shiny and luxurious.
We like the shiny, luxurious part. I've changed the color, by the way, since last week. Did you notice that?
It's got a little tan.
That's it.
I like that. A little more red to it.
Michigan, where we were.
Yeah, at the wedding you were at. So, what are some words of advice for somebody that's a little uncomfortable being on camera, or self-conscious, like, I'm whatever, I don't like the way I look. I'm self-conscious.
Yeah, I think that's an important thing. By the way, I hear that a lot. I was working with Skype for a while and worked with them as their chief enterprise blogger. And I remember one time we went up to New York, and there were many bloggers from around the world that had flown in, literally all over the world. They were there sitting around the table, and we talked about, let's just use some video. We could do that. There were a certain group of people that said, oh, no, I don't want to get on video. And there were others that said, sure, no problem, we'll get on video. Guess which gender was the one saying, oh, no, I don't want to get on video?
Women?
Exactly, from around the world. It's international. It wouldn't matter. The women were going, oh, I can't do that. I don't have my makeup. I don't have my hair. And the guys are going, I don't care. There we are. Hi. Oh, yeah, I got a beer can in the back. Big deal. No big deal there. But, it's like we've got to learn to adapt to that. And I think what you want to do is, first of all, realize, okay, it's normal. When we understand that it's normal, that sometimes you might not want to be seen, particularly when it's going to be in high definition. It's like every little wrinkle, every hair that is out of place is very vivid. Oh, and then we get to put it up on a widescreen. Yes. So now
and I did put makeup on today.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
A little bronzer and some other things.
Yeah, that's right. We can do all that. Well, that's one way it is. And also, by the way, for the guys, let me just say this for guys, makeup can be important. I don't use it a lot, but I did get some of that. Matter of fact, hang on. Let me show you. I've never shown this before, but I'm going to do it for you here. This thing, Gina helped me on this. It's called Match Perfection Sing. It's a little Rimmel thingy bob or whatever it is.
Oh, Rimmel from England.
It's a little thing you put on your skin, and it helps cover up stuff. And I've realized, hey, that's important. It really is. By the way, guys, if you're thinking, oh, no, it's not. I don't need that stuff. I have two words for you. Richard Nixon. And what do I mean by that? Well, it was in the 1960 presidential debate, John Kennedy versus Richard Nixon. Nixon won that debate for those that listened to the radio, audio only. Those that watched the video, Kennedy won. What do you mean, why? Well, because Kennedy used makeup. Nixon did not. Kennedy had just come back from the Bahamas and he was tanned. He looked good on camera.
He looked healthy and vibrant.
Yeah, Nixon was just kind of frumpy, and he didn't wear any. I don't need that stuff. I'm sure he had a few other more colorful words, but he said something, I don't need that, and he came across as not looking real good. This is all about business. So guys, if you're going, I don't need that stuff, well, you make sure you do it right when it's really important. If you're doing something, now you don't have to do it every time. No, but on those times when it's really, really important and you're going out, say, to the whole world and the masses of people are going to see you're doing a live broadcast somewhere, like when we're doing a Google Plus Hangout or something, that will be important. And it's good to do it. So that would be one thing. And another thing, and Laura, to answer your question, practice with it. Get used to it and get comfortable with it. And the way you do that, send out lots of videos to and with videos with people that you know, with family and friends. Then you get more comfortable. You make your mistakes there. And get some coaching. Coaching can really help. Little things like, okay, you realize you're sitting over here right now and this is not a good way to do video because you only see half of my face, Or if I'm worse yet, I'm way back like this and you can't hear me. You don't want to do that either. You want to make sure that you do a few little things. There's a checklist to it. And yes, you need to do it right, Scooter. Come on, get with the program here these days. Video is with us. It's fun. And when you do it right, hey, you can have all kinds of fun.
And you don't even need to use fancy gadgets. I mean, we're using the webcams on our Mac in Terry's case and my Dell PC in my case, my Dell laptop, but I've recorded video on my iPhone. How about you,
Yeah,
Terry?
Exactly. I use video on the iPhone regularly, and I do it with the video app that's there built into the iOS, and also use iJot. This is marketing. For those of you that are saying, hey, I don't need this stuff, well, this really translates to dollars because you're connecting with people better. You're able to say, hey, look what's going on. Oh, look at this. There's a video I want to show. Look what your competition is doing. They're doing this kind of thing over here. And you send them a video of that. Wow, you've suddenly moved from salesperson to valued resource they need to know and work with even more. And so that's where video is just really good, and I encourage people to look at it with the various tools that are out there. We're using Zoom right now. I still love Skype and use it. It's a great tool. Google Plus Hangouts. Marvelous little tool for what it will do. There's some new tools out like Periscope and Blab that are out there that you think, whoa, what's going on? Well, you need to get to know that we don't have the time right now to go into all of it, but just say, hey, there's a lot out there. Find out about it, put it on your radar, and start learning it because this translates to connecting with people. And in a business sense, it translates to increased bottom line.
We haven't really talked about this yet, but I think it's really important. We talked about, providing value. Don't just sort of throw your stuff out there and say, buy, 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 buy. You need to create a relationship and you need to do value. We talked about video, but we really haven't talked about how to figure out your content or even what you want to be putting out there on video. You're known for branding. That's one of the big things that you're really known for is putting all the pieces together in a consistent way to make sure that all the messaging goes out to further the goals forward for whatever organization you're helping work with social media or video or whatever it may be. What would be some questions or some tips that you can give to people to help figure that part out for themselves? Because you can't I'm just going to record this video today and tomorrow do something, 180 from where you were at.
You're right. You are so right because too many people, I think, can go out and they try something, they go, ooh, I like Eagly Wigglies, so I'm going to go talk about Eagly Wigglies. There we go. Well, guess what? There might not be a market for that. Or even worse, we see a lot of people that say, follow your passion and the money will be there. That sounds nice, but it doesn't really work. Again, if my passion is tsetse flies in Ethiopia from the 15th century, you might not be getting a lot of money on that. You've got to make sure there's an intersection between what people are looking for. That's most important because that's how you're going to get your money. People are going to give you money for it. You need to find out what they want and what you like. For instance, you could make money if you are a brain surgeon. You can do that, but there's a lot of price you're going to pay in terms of time, money, and energy to become a real bona fide certified brain surgeon. There's a lot you got to go through, and you got to find out what's the market for that. There are people that are willing to pay a lot of money for it. Is that market increasing or decreasing? Is it something that you want to do, and does it really meet with your passion? Now, you've got to find something that you are passionate about, or you'll fizzle out. You might be real good at a particular thing. We see people like that are maybe good at law, but they really don't like the law. They don't want to be a lawyer. They want to do something else. Well, take those skills and leverage. You want to look at the combination of what people are looking for, what you like, and what they're ready, willing, and able to pay for. That's the real key. And getting it that way, you want to have the content. And I think the content requires study. There's no shortcut to it. If you're going to get good at something, you have to study. You need to read. You need to take courses. And these courses can be on your own. And you want to hang around people who are really smart, that know how to talk about this stuff. If you want to learn it, hey, today we can do that. Hang out with really, really smart people and find out what's going on. It was fun this last weekend. We were up, Gina and I were talking about this. We were a friend of ours who was a dean at a medical school, a very large university, and people that were coming were really, really smart. Getting a chance to hang around them was really good.
I notice I'm catching the timer now more frequently because I didn't want to mess it up again. So we have about a minute, 50 seconds left before we go into commercial break. You talked about that, surround yourself with people smarter than yourself, educate, learn, and everything. Randy Gage, who I believe is a friend of yours.
Oh, yeah, he's in our mastermind group.
Okay, Randy I just love him. One day I'm hoping to get him on my show as well. He talks about if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to find a new room. And, he's not the first person that ever said it, but he's the first person who ever said it at the moment my brain was able to grasp it.
I know.
That I fully got and appreciated that comment. And a lot of it was because I had just sold my company and I had just ended my contract with the company that bought mine. And I wasn't surrounded by people that could take me to the next level of where I wanted to go. I was basically at home trying to figure out what was next, and that's when I decided to write the book. So I love that you said that, because there's so much out there that doesn't cost a lot, or some of it that you do need to pay for that you can get to. So Terry, share with us how people can get in touch with you and follow you before we go into the commercial break. Sure.
It's real easy. You go over to my website, terrybrock.com, and that's spelled Terry, and Brock is spelled the right way, BROCK. So it's terrybrock.com, and of course I'm on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, all those, you'll see that there. But if you just remember terrybrock.com, you'll get all the information and all the goodies.
And I love that he actually has managed to grab Terry Brock for everything, because he got very early on into all the social media platforms. So there's no Terry-Brock or anything like that. It's at Terry Brock on Twitter, and it's his website. So thank you for watching us on video, because I think it's going to be fun for those of us who are watching this afterwards. We'll be right back after the commercial break with more from the incomparable Terry Brock. Okay, I was just waiting for the commercial to kick in so that I knew that I wasn't going live through the mic.
Yes, exactly. I was listening, and I can hear the commercial right now playing through the telephone here.
And do you watch Downton Abbey at all?
You watch what?
Downton Abbey.
Is that on TV?
It's on PBS.
Oh, yeah, I don't watch TV. I got rid of TV about 8 years ago. One of the smartest things I ever did. So I don't have cable, don't have TV.
I love that. See, and that's another thing that they talk about, that the smartest people don't have TV. They barely ever watch TV. They're reading books. I mean, I look at your library behind you. You have tons of books.
Oh, this is just one of them. We've got several others throughout the house. Actually, there's 4 throughout there. But we do that. And then what we'll do is we often watch videos on YouTube. Educational targeted videos from wonderful, really, really smart people like, Stanford Business School, Harvard. Right. We're watching Stefan Molyneux. It's the largest philosophy podcast in the world. Reason.tv, Anarchast. We're watching really, really smart people that are talking about important things. And so I miss a lot of that stuff. So you were telling me about that show that I don't get.
Well, it was just that commercial. They're using the Downton Abbey theme song, and it drives me nuts every single time I hear it. Because I'm like, is Downton Abbey coming on? Like,
Downton
how do
Abbey,
they?
okay.
Yeah.
See, that is one thing you miss out on. There are things that I'll miss out when I'm not watching TV. But I swap that for being able to listen to really great people, like on Big Think. Big Think is a channel that's out on YouTube, free, and they get some of the smartest, most brilliant people in the world talking about things. Plus, TED Talks are available. So all these wonderful TED Talks, you can watch those out there very easily.
Yeah, I found that since Mom moved in and has her memory issues have increased, she needs TV. So for whatever reason, visually it stimulates something for her. If the TV's not on, she started goes to a little bit of a panic if it's not on for very long. Even if it's just Family Feud is her favorite show. She will, on the Game Show Network, have Family Feud on or one of the other game shows. It's basically, it's people talking.
Yeah.
But it's not horrifying or anything like that, but she needs to have it. So I'm watching more TV because she needs me in a room after it gets dark.
Oh, sure, that makes sense. And if I'm reading a book,
it makes her kind of upset because I'm not with her. So I'm having to balance it. So I try to find shows that, for me at least, are a little more involved. And we are coming back.
There we go.
Well, I cannot believe we are in the last segment of this show. Terry, it has gone way too fast, even with us recording this between.
Yeah, that's right. We got a lot. So those of you that are able to join us on video, you're going to like this. You got all the behind the scenes stuff that only we know about. Okay, so you want to watch that. Don't tell any other grown-ups. Okay.
And one thing we didn't share, which because I'm in a radio station, right? So that means this mic that I'm talking into has to be the live mic, and these headsets are where I hear Terry. If I have my laptop set up with Zoom and I have my speakers going so that Terry's coming through the laptop and through my headsets, there's this strange echo that goes on in the recording. So you want to keep track of that's also important, isn't it, Cherry? Say it's just you and I, and I'm in my home office, you're at your home office working, and we're recording video. If you don't have the right audio video setup, you can hear feedback, correct? An echo?
You mean an echo, like that?
Oh, yes, absolutely that.
Yeah, some of those it can be that way. Yeah, it can. The main thing is if you're doing video, here's another little tip. You want to use an external microphone. A lot of people try to use the internal microphone and they're using the internal speakers. That can sometimes get a nasty screeching and feedback, which is kind of cool if you're into that. But if you're not and you're more into communication that is clear, having an external microphone, like for instance, you don't know it, but I don't know, Laura, should I show them the real secret?
Oh, show them.
Those of you that are watching video, boom, there it is. See, we've got a microphone right here. Those of you that are with audio only will go, I don't know, Martha, do you see a microphone? No, you don't. It's only in the video. It's right there, but you can't see it. It's also strategically placed right below. But the audio is the most important part of the video when you're recording. So make sure you use an external microphone of some type. There's a whole bunch of them. I talk about this in my programs that we have, but there's a lot of things that you can do, and it really comes across almost like real TV. Pretty close to it, and we can take the video that we have today with a high-definition audio, high-definition video, and we can put it on any television station in the world.
And I love that. And for those of you who are just on audio and will not have an opportunity for whatever reason to see the video, although after today's show, why would you not want to catch this video, which you'll be able to find at laurastewart.com, and Terry will be posting it in several different places, and I will tweet it out as well, and I'll put it up on my YouTube channel. So you use the Yeti microphone. Right.
This is one of the microphones that I use. I use this here at home. I use another microphone that it gives me. Matter of fact, here, I'm just going to reach up and grab it. Here's one that I use on the road sometimes. It's one of those, you've seen these before, where you have the microphone built in here, and it goes, look how this, I'm getting 3 microphones here. I can put this on like this. You know, I'm getting really geeky on this one. But you see right here, this is from Plantronics, and it's the Blackwire C725. Really nice because it's got noise cancellation built into this microphone. And with that noise cancellation, it listens to my voice, but it also listens to noise out here and can give the opposite of the audio wave on that. that, so that way it cancels it out. Real nice for a lot of different things. So you might want another microphone if you're on the road a lot, and if you're moving around, then it'll be a little different. But have a professional microphone that you can use for your video. It'll be very important.
I get so many people that send me things, video, and the picture's great. I can see them wonderfully, and the sound is so horrible. I shut it off after 30 seconds because I can't understand a word they're saying.
Yeah, if you can't stand.
What is the point?
If we have bad video, we can tolerate that if we can hear the sound clearly. If the sound's coming through clearly, but the video is not good, we can tell it. But if the audio's bad, we'll turn it off.
Now, can every business benefit from using video?
Business, there might be one that wouldn't, but I have yet to find it, because you're talking about people. You're talking about connecting with people, and that is what matters. Video gives you the ability to connect with people better in a more natural way, for just saying hello, connecting with them, talking with them, or promoting something, doing training. Lots of different ways that we can use it. So I think it's as important as being able to see.
You know what I find really ironic? I think that's the right word. We're talking live on the radio about video.
Yeah. And I'm an old radio guy. I started in radio. Matter of fact, we went by the station that I started with just a little while ago, this last weekend, up in Michigan. And video is now an integral part. And really what it is, it's communication. We talk, we use audio, we use video, we use text and pictures. Sometimes that's a more appropriate means of communication. Those of you that are thought leaders that are watching this, those of you that are speakers, that are authors, you want to deploy all of these tools that you can in order to communicate more effectively. And that really is what it's all about. Communicating more effectively and reaching more people, building those relationships.
Okay, so Terry, as we're going into the last 2.5 minutes or so of the show, is there any one thought or question that you'd like to leave my listeners with that they start thinking about?
How can I get to know Terry Brock better? There's one, but we might have some. There we go, TerryBrock.com. But no, think about how you can become more of the person that you want to be. What do you need to do? What kind of skills do you need to acquire? That's where the not yet comes in. Thinking about, you can't do it right now, but what is it that you could do if you had the time, the money, and the energy to make it happen? And if you don't have all of that, which we all have certain constraints on all of those things, then what can I do with what I've got? I love the way Teddy Roosevelt said it. He said, do what you can with what you've got right where you are. Look around, see what you have, not what you wish you had had or what you wish that someday you could if you had more money. No, that doesn't count. What you got right now. Build on top of that and think about what you could do to achieve the goals to make your life and the lives of others much better. I think that'd probably be the question I would leave them with.
I love that because it says you need to figure out where you're at, where you want to be going. And then, okay, I can start now. If I want to do video, I've got my iPhone. I don't have to have a fancy laptop. I don't have to have all those different things. I don't need extra microphones. Start with this. I really love that. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, everybody, I highly encourage you to go and listen to Terry's TEDx talk. So Google Terry Brock, TEDx, Overwhelm. I love that. And then I'll also be able to get a lot more information about you at terrybrock.com. So thank you for being with me today, Terry. And hopefully we will get to see each other in person someday soon, since you're like an hour and a half away and I'm going to be in Orlando. I'm in Orlando often.
Yeah, exactly. Laura, thank you. This has really been an honor and a treat to be with you. And those of you watching or listening, if I can help you, please let me know. Terry at terrybrock.com is the email. And hey, love to hear from you. Laura, thank you very much.
Thank you. And it's TERRY, everybody, BROCK. And if you're looking to figure out the right questions to ask for your own life and you're kind of feeling stuck, find me on Facebook or social media, Twitter, or just laurastewart.com. I'm here to help. The show is all about the questions. And for me, the most important thing you can do for yourself is ask yourself the right questions, because truly the right questions can change your life. So what are you asking yourself today? Write it down. Tweet to me at the Laura Stewart what questions you find you're asking yourself today, and we'll be here next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Take care, everybody.